Hi, my name is Samara. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner, whichever you'd like you can call me. Today I'll be doing an update, the first update for my Pan That palette for 2023, my Sigma Ambiance palette. And I'm going to try to actually make this one really quick because I don't want to spend a lot of time editing and I just want to get it up quickly because today it's the 7th, and if you saw my last video, I had to wait to film this because I've been having irritation on my eyes and I really wanted to wear eyeshadow, specifically this palette, for this video because it would just be weird to not wear any eyeshadow for an eyeshadow update. But anyway, so this is an all neutral palette, as you can see. There are 14 shades in here, just a bunch of browns and golds, and I realized that I never swatched these in my introduction video because I have swatches of this on my Instagram, but they're from a year ago, and also you might not follow me on Instagram, so you might have never seen them, and if you've never seen this palette, then you don't really know what it looks like. So here are the swatches. I didn't do the best job with my placement, but I started here and went across, and then went here and went across, and from top to bottom, that is the order. And I'm wearing 2 of these shadows on my eyes right now, both shimmers. So the orange actually is not from this palette, it's from a different palette that I'm trying to hit pan on. But the gold that's on the first half of my lid is this one, Sunflower. And then the gold that's on my inner corner, you can't really see. Okay, there you can see it a little bit. That one is this one, Midas. I'm wearing it for the first time, and I have used all these shadows now that I have used Midas and Sunflower today. And I actually wasn't even trying to do that with this look. I just wanted to do that because I always do this green or orange and gold look, and I wanted to see if I could recreate it with Sunflower, but it's a little too orangey than my usual yellow gold that I use this for, but I still think it's really pretty. And for reference, this one is Sunflower and this one is Midas. They're really beautiful colors. I love them, and I've only used this, I would say I was using this the first 2 weeks of the year, and then I started using some single eyeshadows that I'm trying to completely pan. But I really do love this palette. I already have some really good disturbances in some pans that I'll tell you about because I was doing like pretty much the same look every day for work that I really love, and I'll tell you more about that. So the typical look that I was doing with this palette is I would put Basque in my transition as my, I would use Basque as my transition shade, and then I would use Enrich in my like outer corner, and then I would put the shade Candlelight all over my lid. This shade, let me tell you, this shade is so beautiful. It's like a medium tone brown with like different colored sparkles in it, and it looks so amazing on the eyes. I was like looking through my pictures on Snapchat the other day, like my saved pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I wearing? And it's this. It's so beautiful. The one thing that I don't like about it is that the tiny glitters in it do get into my eyes sometimes when I'm applying it. So I think I'm going to try this with glitter glue, but I don't know how much that would help. So I do have to be a little cautious when I'm wearing this, especially since I've had some eye irritation lately. It wasn't from this because this happened like a while after I kind of put this away, but my eyes have been so sensitive lately. So yeah, this is just the first update, so there's not too much to say about this. I pretty much, whenever I use this to set down my eyeshadow primer, and then usually I use Basque in my transition. That pretty much never changes. I'll like either use Enrich or Sunspot in my outer corner, but Enrich is more cool toned than Sunspot. So Sunspot is kind of just like a neutral, and then Enrich is like a true cool tone brown, and it is slightly deeper as well. So that's pretty much my go-to, but I've also done other looks with a bunch of the warm tones, and I'm really liking everything so far. I would say the only thing about this palette that was a little bit unexpected was that I mean, I guess I should have known because I have swatched this palette before, but I guess it kind of just slipped my mind that even though this palette does have a mixture of warm, neutral, and cooler tones, almost all of the mattes are warm tones. Most of the cool and neutral tones do come from the shimmers. So it does get a little bit difficult to create everyday looks other than that one that I just mentioned. So I don't really want to get too burnt out with doing, even though I love it, I don't want to always have to do the exact same look over and over again, and I don't want to have to always wear warm tones, which is like why I picked this palette. I thought it was a little bit more versatile. But I actually have a solution for that. So sorry if the angle changed or something looks different. I had to go find this palette, and I'm actually bringing in this palette in addition to my Ambiance palette to pan this year. And I kind of was wanting to do this anyway because Paula from A Beauty Guru made me do it. She had, for the Fantastic Ladies Pan That Palette theme of 2023, her idea was Better Together, which is just any two palettes that work better together. And I kind of wanted to do that. I was actually in between that prompt and the prompt that got selected for the year, where you choose an older palette. Ultimately I did vote for the older palette theme just because at the time I really thought I was going to be panning my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette still, and then I had to get rid of that one, and then I was like, oh no, like now like literally all of my other palettes are from 2021 or later, so I didn't really have an older palette. And then also, when I found out this was mostly warm tones, I noticed myself reaching for this because, as you can see, it's a very cool tone palette. So I would pair it with this or kind of just choose to use this instead with some of the singles that I'm panning. So I figured, you know, I may as well put these together, you know, get some good use out of this one. While I don't think, sorry, let me open this up again, close it too quickly. While I don't think I'll be really hitting that many pans in this one because I think I'll mostly be using it for the mattes, and usually it's easier for me to hit pans in shimmer shades. I still want to put this in my project just to pair with it, and then also like see where this goes. And I really do love this palette. I've used it maybe like in the time that I've had it, which is not that long, I've already used it maybe like 6 times because this shade right here is just slightly darker than, like, it kind of looks different on camera, but it's just slightly darker than my skin, so the skin on my eyes, so I can put it in my crease and it looks like a perfectly natural shadow. So like, I don't know, this is kind of just like a perfect cool tone palette for me. Other than the Melt Cosmetics Mary Jane palette, I still love that one, but this one's a little bit easier to use, and you know, I feel like this has like everything that I need to pair with the Sigma Ambiance palette, and I'd definitely rather pan this one than the Melt palette. So yeah, I don't know if I said, actually, this is the Sephora collection brand Blues Beauty palette. This unfortunately is discontinued. The Sigma Ambiance you can still get on the Sigma website, but I feel like Sephora and e.l.f., they just like keep discontinuing things as soon as they make them, even if they're like really great products. I personally really like the Sephora collection eyeshadow formula. It's not like the best eyeshadow I've ever tried, but it's also very affordable. So yeah, I'm really happy with this palette, and I'm excited to pair these together and also to use these palettes in conjunction with some of my single eyeshadows that I'm panning. And actually, before I forget, let me swatch this one for you. Hello, okay. I swatched the palette and of course I did the same thing, except worse on this arm. So I'm gonna do my best to show you. Here's the palette swatched. The shimmers are a little bit more subtle. They're the 3 at the bottom. They're not super metallic, so they don't stand out too much. But here are the shades. Yeah, I'm really excited to be adding this palette in and now doing the Better Together Pan That Palette theme for this year. We'll just have to see how far I get in these 2 palettes since I am panning. Let me think. I am panning a few single eyeshadows. My cat wants to get out of my room right now. So I'm gonna end this now. I'm gonna go let Roxy out of my room, and yeah, again, my goal for next time will be to just get some like really good disturbances and dips in some of these shades. Mainly dips in the 3 that I use every day for like my daily looks, but also I want to see some disturbances, maybe get rid of some of the imprints on some of the mattes or shimmers. But yeah, that'll be it. We'll see where I get with that. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.